Going into business, you probably sometimes don't consider them a lot, but you had a tough decision in actually sacking one of your best mates in Phil Neville.
Yeah.
How does that feel? How do you approach that? And then how do you come up? Is Gary Neville ringing you going, listen, this is how you do it?
No, I didn't speak to Gary about it at all. You know, Phil has been in management for a long time, you know, and he knows what happens in management. And I think when I first brought in Phil to manage the team in Miami, I knew what he was going to do. I knew he was going to steady the ship. I knew that he was going to bring the work ethic that I'd seen over the years, and he's kind of, everything had to be perfect, you know, with Phil, and he brought everyone together, and he changed that club overnight. You know, what the work that Phil did was incredible, but Phil knew that it's, and he said the same. It's, you know, if I'm not getting the results, I know what's going to happen, and we're close enough to have that conversation. You know, when he first came in, I said, Phil, I don't want this to affect our friendship. He said, I get it. He said, it won't. He said, when the time's right, if it's right, we'll both know. And we had a very sensible conversation, and, you know, but I will never underestimate what he did for the club. You know, for those couple of seasons, he was unbelievable. You know, his coaching staff and everything that he did, you know, at the club was incredible. And unfortunately, you know, the results weren't great, and, you know, he kind of accepted that.
Just take me back to that though, because I can't imagine how difficult that is, having to kind of put your shirt and tie on in the morning, knowing that you're going in to say to your mate, listen, thanks, but no thanks now.